Tony and Tina's Wedding, now playing at Piper's Alley on North Avenue in Chicago. A few weeks ago, Joe Leidig, David Ashby, and I were on the honored guest list. Here's a peek.
Love is not jealous or boastful. It is not arrogant or rude.
Constance. Constance.
A good wife makes a happy husband. She doubles the length of his life.
Like the willow that sprouts in the spring, love is a soft and tender thing. Feed it lullabies and you'll learn you'll get more than lullabies in return.
I'm here now at Tony and Tina's Wedding. Now, Tony and Tina, who are you really?
I'm Rosemary D'Alessandro.
And Joe Tomasca.
And do you live here in the city?
Yes.
How long have you been actors in Chicago?
I've been acting since college. Studied in Dallas, Texas at SMU, and then I studied at the Goodwin School of Drama.
And what about you?
I've never acted before. This is my first acting.
How did you find out about the show here?
I saw the show in New York in September, and then a few months later I saw the auditions in the newspaper, and I just came on a fluke.
Now, this show seems a little bit different than most shows that we go to, being that I assume that this show does not have quite the same written type of script that other shows would have. Is it totally improv?
It's an environmental piece, so the audience actually becomes a part of the show through their participation. And the church part of the show is scripted. And then you move into Vinnie Black's Coliseum. Vinnie Black is the name of the caterer, the character. And you move into that hall, and it's about 50-50. Half of it's scripted and half of it's improv. And the show moves in a timeline to the end. So it's really really very different, very exciting.
Yeah, what's the rehearsal process like? I mean, do you have to have an audience come in to rehearse with you?
When the guests arrive, that's actually like the rest of the cast. What we did in rehearsal was we built a history of Tony and Tina and all the characters, and that we just bring that into the show every night.
Was Tony the first guy you ever dated?
No, Michael was.
Who's Michael?
Michael Just, he's another character in the show.
What do you do for a living as a character? What does Tony do? Like, do you have a job? Does Tony, like, your history, your background, your characters.
What do you need?
Oh, you get us anything. Okay.
What do you need? That's all I can say. My father's down there, and I don't want to. But what do you need?
Okay, great. Well, we look forward to seeing Tony and Tina's Wedding and to seeing some footage of you. And what we saw so far has been great. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you at Tony and Tina's Wedding.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm here now with John D'Alessandro, who plays Tony's father. What is it like being in this cast?
It's insane at times. Most of us have come from shows with relatively small cast, 5 actors, 6 actors, and there's, including the band, 34 actors in the show.
You probably get to know these cast members very well. How many times have you been involved with the wedding itself?
This one in particular?
Yes.
6 weeks of rehearsals, and then we've been doing the show for 3 months now, so quite a while.
Someone told me that you were related to one of the cast members. Is it Tina?
Tina. Rose D'Alessandro. Tina is my second cousin.
That's wonderful. What is the history of this show? I've seen it in different cities. Where did it start?
It originated in New York. We're still running. It's in its 7th year there. And the originators, Mark Nasser and Nancy Casaro, were friends in high school. And they went to Hofstra School on the East Coast. And when they got out of school, they started to perform as Tony and Tina in Washington Square in New York, and eventually formed an improv group called Artificial Intelligence, and decided Nancy had been to like a ton of weddings in a span of like 4 weeks, and decided to do an improv, and that's how Tony and Tina's was born.
That's wonderful. Now,
They took the show to Los Angeles, San Francisco, Philadelphia, and it actually ran in Australia for a short run.
It's a wonderful experience for the theater, for people that maybe haven't gone to a lot of different types of theaters or have stuck to just the mainstream theater, to realize that theater is in more arenas than just on a stage.
It really is. It's for actors too, but primarily if you haven't seen a lot of theater, this is a nice indoctrination to the theater. And if you have seen a lot of theater, this is a nice break from your conventional going to a theater and actually watching a show. And as an actor, it's interesting too, because you're usually just working on stage with that fourth wall, and you never talk to the audience at all. And this is the antithesis. Hello, it's been a long night. It's the opposite of that.
Okay, great, good enough.
You get to work with the audience, and it's really an exercise in improv. It's a lot of fun.
It did seem that the audience was very involved with this show. What if there's an audience that is tired or that are more watchers than being involved? How do you handle that?
It doesn't really happen that often. Sometimes we do get that, but it makes us work harder as actors. But it really, the way the show is so brilliantly written, it doesn't leave a lot of lulls, and it doesn't leave a lot of room for anything. You can't get away with anything, and it's always like this, and if it seems slow at times, it picks right up. So, and we just kind of scoop them up with us. So it's real easy to get caught up in it. You don't know if it's reality or what you're involved in.
I have to be honest, I was a little skeptical sitting there thinking, well, I'm not going to really get involved. I'm watching, and I'm not going to get up there and dance.
We won't allow that.
Well, by the end, I was right in there. So.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's really hard to sit back. Some of the older guests, just like to sit back and watch. But it's really hard to just sit back and watch a show and not get involved at all. There's just too much going on.
Now, I hear that you have a lot going on in your career. What is currently happening, and where can we see you other than the show?
What do you mean? Who have you been talking to?
Oh, the cast members and people in the audience that maybe recognized you. Who are you, and what do you have in your future?
I just got busy in the last few months. I've got a couple commercials on the air. I shot an old-style commercial with Dennis Farina, who's a very popular Chicago actor. And I have an episode of The Untouchables coming up on WGN on Sunday, October 18th. And in the show, which keeps you busy. It beats the heck out of waiting tables and bartending.
Could you give us some information on the show? Where do we call to see tickets?
Sure. Piper's Alley, 230 North Avenue, corner of North and Wells. It's Piper's Alley is the same complex where Second City is and has been for the last 30-odd years. It's on the 3rd floor. And for ticket information, it's 312-664-8844. And we are sold out well into, what year is it?
It's 1993 now.
We're sold out in 90 for a lot of dates, but there's a lot of dates open. And we've had terrific press. We've had great network coverage. We've had a lot of cable stations, and thank God,
that we're here for you.
That you guys took enough to come out and cover it. But we've had some great houses, and we're going to run for a long, long time.
Well, good. I hope you do. It was nice meeting you. And
You too.
see you at the next wedding.
Thanks very much.
Join our host, Pam Nelson, tonight at 6:30 and 10:30 on Fox Valley Today. Getting all dressed up to look like monsters or movie stars is on the minds of many of our children these days, and grown-ups too if you corner them. Watch our show today and learn all about face painting for Halloween. It's fun, it's safe, and as easy as putting on your makeup in the morning. And Friday, we'll open up the linen closet and see what costumes are lurking nearby. And we'll have a professional costumist for those glamorous Halloween makeup parties. That's tonight at 6:30 and 10:30 on Fox Valley Today. Food, glorious food. Joe Leidig joins the cast of Oliver at the Candlelight Dinner Theater Playhouse. These kids have a lot to tell us about the food as well as the fun they had in the play.
Hi, I'm here at Candlelight Dinner Playhouse in Summit, Illinois, and I've just had the most wonderful afternoon seeing Oliver. I'm going to visit with some of the young people that are in the show, and it is because of them that the show is so wonderful. It really is. Their energy, their enthusiasm just makes the biggest difference in the world. Now, a lot of times when you see Oliver, it's kind of a depressing show because children in workhouses and orphans being treated like animals is not on your list of big chuckles, you know? But the energy of the boys and girls here in this show, well, there's just one girl, right? Yeah. One girl. It makes you like this show, and it makes you like the people and the feeling that are in it. I think perhaps we should begin talking with the star of the show, Paris Schultz, who plays Oliver. Paris, I know that you've been in some other things. Would you tell us about some of those things?
Oh, well, I was in 2 other plays, and they were both Dickens, and I was both little Dickens characters, and then I did little parts in America's Most Wanted and The Untouchables, and then just recently I filmed Missing Persons, and I was a principal role in that, and that was like a great experience, but none as good as this. I mean, this is a wonderful experience.
Now, when you go to school, how do you react to the things that are going on? Is it kind of hard for you to come down after being high from a wonderful performance?
Well, usually I can't wait to get back here. Usually school's not as fun. The kids aren't as fun as the kids in the cast, and it's just kind of sad. You go back to school for a couple days, you miss the cast members. They're not as the school kids. I mean, I like the school kids, but they're not as supporting as nice as the cast members. I mean, it's like your second family here.
Yes, they don't have the same drive and the same energy that you and your family have here. What about, now you sing some beautiful songs. I really love Where Is Love. That's a beautiful song. It's one of my favorite songs. Now, do you vocalize every day?
No, not every day. Actually, a couple times a week. I have a voice teacher, which I go once a week. And sometimes I'm afraid on 2 show days that with all the songs and with all the screaming that my voice isn't going to hold. But usually it works. And my voice has gotten so much better since the show started. Since I first started singing, it's so much improved.
That's a good way to feel, and I agree with you, because I heard you. Not that you weren't good; you were good in the beginning. All of you were good. Now I'm going to leave you for a minute, Paris, and I'm going to talk to Bobby Lawrence, because. Well, you know what I do? I feel like a groupie here with these young people, because I've seen them in this show twice, and I've seen some of them in other shows, especially Bobby. Hi.
Hi.
And I liked, you know, when you were in Evita, you sang a solo in that one, and that really knocked me right out there. But usually you appear with your twin sister, and I want to know, do you miss her?
Oh, yes. Well,
tell us where she is.
She's in Colorado right now, but she's going to be moving on, and she's on a tour with Pegasus Players. And the play is called Once on This Island. It's about a little island girl who falls in love with this prince and stuff like that. But I kind of miss her, and I kind of don't miss her, because I get a lot of advantages, and then I start crying about it, and then it gets all tangled up. But I can contact her whenever I feel like it. So it's not really that bad.
And it's good to find your own character in a play too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you can be your own person in the play. And I watched your energy, which was way up there too. Now we have some other twins. We had Bobby, who has a twin sister, and then we have Graham and Alex. Graham, I want you to tell me about your piano teacher and how you got to these auditions.
Well, my piano teacher's name is Tony Martinez, and he was working at a high school that my older brother was at, and we just kind of met him, and we saw him more often, and we kind of became friends with him, and he became our piano teacher when we started lessons. And one day he brought an Audition News magazine to our house, and there was an audition for Oliver here. And we've done the show twice before. We know all the music, and we've had some leads in the show, so we knew the show real well. So then we said, well, what the heck, let's go audition for it. So then we did audition, and I waited like 3 weeks, and then they called me back to tell me I made the show, and that was one of the happiest things in my life, I guess, so far.
So, Alex, when you heard that you made it, were you glad that the two of you made it? I'm sure you were.
Oh, yeah, we knew kind of if they wanted to pick one, they want to pick the other one, because they wouldn't want to make us feel left out. And also, Graham was called back for the Artful Dodger, and I wasn't. And well, we kind of knew if he made the part of the Dodger, that if they had like me as a workhouse boy, they'd be like, "What's the Dodger doing?" And then there's another workhouse boy that looks exactly like him. So then, when he was with us, it made me happy with him.
Now, all of you tell me that you like to participate in sports, which you don't get to do very often. But I want to know, how did you learn to dance and move so well? How about Paris? Tell us a little bit about that.
Actually, before I came to the play, I barely knew how to dance at all. The plays helped me so much. Now if I tried to dance before, it'd be really hard, but now it feels easy. It feels easy. I can do like a lot of dance steps. And the dance steps were at first, when I first got them, they were hard. But see, now since we're in the show, I've been doing them for a long time, they're easy.
Yes, I felt that you all moved very naturally. There was no effort, and I saw this when it first opened, so there's no difference. Now you move very well too, Bobby. Do you take dance lessons?
No, not really. I kind of learned from my sister because she's like a dance fanatic. So, yeah. So, I was really kind of a dancer at heart, and I learned these steps, and I kind of liked it. So I put my heart to it, and I got it right.
Yes, speaking of heart, I'm not getting paid for this, folks, because I'm raving on and on about this show. But I think that the energy level of the adult actors is wonderful. But we kind of expect that from the adult actors. But the young people that are in this play, I believe them. I always tell my students, acting is believing. Believe what you're doing, believe who you are. And I believe all the young people in this show. And I want to know, do you do, Alex, why don't you tell us, do you do any acting warm-ups before each show?
Well, not in this role particularly. Well, I don't have any major speaking role. But I practice basically on stage. It comes naturally, really, because it's like being a kid and you're in a gang. It's really fun, and I just enjoy it so much. It comes naturally.
Oh, don't say that. We want all these young people to take all these acting lessons and everything. But I think the thing that I notice so much about, especially you four, you are frightened when I really feel fear. I see fear in you. I feel when you're happy, I feel that you're happy. So, Graham, why don't you tell me, do you think about being, like, losing your home? Do you think any special thoughts to get you in the mood for the feelings that you need to show?
Yeah, like in food when we sing, I think like if I'm really hungry and I want the stuff, I just try to position myself in the role. Like when I read books, I like to think if I'm the main character and do stuff, and I just like to play around with stuff like that, and I guess I just think about it and picture it in my mind what it would be like.
I know that you are not wanting to see this show close. Now, Bobby, why don't you tell us? It's sometime in November, so we want to urge all the people that are watching to come as soon as they can. So when does it close?
November 28th.
Oh, you have some time then. So you need to call the Candlelight Dinner Playhouse and find out. They have all kinds of deals out here, and they have. Do you eat the food?
the food is wonderful. The marvelous food, their meat, their pasta, their salad, their soup. It's so good.
It really is good. It's glorious food. It really is. And so I think as a family, now I've talked to some of you, and some of you are planning on coming soon, and I'm glad to hear that you are. But you don't want to miss this show, because it's a good family show, and it's a part of history that you can discuss at school and also with your family. Well, fellas, I want to thank you all. I know we're going to see your names up there. I mean that with all my heart. You're going to be in a lot more things, and guess who's going to be right there clapping like mad? Did you hear me yelling bravo? Did you hear? No. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh.
I heard that.
Did you? Well, that was me. And usually if I come with somebody else, they get embarrassed and move to another table. But anyway, thanks. And we'll hope to see you soon in something else. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Las Vegas with hotels starting at $199. So give us a call on any of these specials if you're interested.
Okay.
We've also got a contest going on.
You do?
Anybody that submits a picture that they take anytime between now and May 31st, 1994, a snapshot from your vacation, bring it in, and we've got a contest going. You may win a free vacation.
Oh. So somebody's picture will win them a free vacation then?
Somebody's picture will win them a free vacation.
Does it have to be of anything in particular or just some sort of vacation?